Hey y'all, what's going on? It's your girl Amaya Desire, and of course I'm back with my homie Jazz. What up, girl?
Jazzy J on the mic. Look.
Okay,
Welcome
with the
back.
ones and the twos. All right, y'all know how we are. We here, child. They definitely took us on a roller coaster. And yeah, so let's just hop into it. So of course we hit the flashback, 1993. Hmm,
That was
where
cute.
was I in
I was 3.
1993? Damn, you about to make me feel. I definitely wasn't three. I was probably 12.
Okay, there we
Yeah, I was
go.
probably 12. So yeah, very interesting.
Mhm.
Very interesting. Um, let's just talk about this flashback. I think it's really cool. The almost paying homage, right? The
Right.
gold earrings, the jackets and the pants that match with the what is it, the color cutouts, so to speak, the
Okay.
blocks. That's what they call them, the
The
block pant
block.
set. And very interesting. So we get this flashback. We get to see how the girls actually came to be. Now, of course, Brianna is in private school, and she, is supposed to be helping Naomi with Shakespeare. And
Yeah.
Naomi is like, for what and for why, and Brianna spits a little flow, letting her know Shakespeare is actually, a lyricist himself. I'm a fan of Shakespeare, sorry, I get it, I dig it. Um, but we see this dynamic of them interacting. Was this like a shocker for you to see how this friendship develops?
I thought it was really cute. It just like, at first it's just like, how did these girls come together with these different personalities, but somewhat there's
Mm-hmm.
a similarity, right? So obviously we see how the mom was when they were growing up and
Mm-hmm.
how she was real choosy on who she hung out with. And then how we brought Jill into the equation, how the mom picked Jill because
A
she was
play date. A
on a
play
play date.
date.
Like this child is about God. She's very intelligent. Like you're gonna like her. It's gonna be a match. But then it kind of was in a place
Yeah,
where they all like music.
it was. But I was interested to see that they were doing play dates at 13-ish, because I'm gonna say they was about 13, 14-year old age range. But then to see Jill get up and spit that flow was like, oh, she got bars. She got
Yeah.
bars for the Lord. Okay, hallelujah. Praise him. All right. Um, so I did like that. I thought that was very interesting. Of course, we knew that they didn't meet Valeria until later on in the game, so she
Yeah.
wasn't gonna be around. But the three of them decide they're gonna, go and spit it at this open mic. They want to get put on the list. And they do, and Brianna's mother, aka RoboCop, shows up, right? And they perform anyway, but then she's like, get y'all hind parts in this car so we can go on ahead because this is ridiculous. And this is where we see Eric, which is very interesting to me. Like we talked
Mhm.
about it earlier. Eric is extremely much older than these girls. How do we feel
Gotta be.
about that?
Gotta be. I mean, just the way the scene was, they didn't really. I don't know in the beginning if they interpreted if they were in high school or like a fresh. They were in high school, I'm
I feel like they
assuming.
were high school.
Or middle,
Yeah.
right? I'm like 13, middle school, or 14, high
So you
school.
know what? You're probably right. They're probably, because you do tend to look young, even though you're in your freshman year of high school. So if they're 15 and he's, let's say, 18, 19, it's still a 4-year gap. But
Yeah. Well, either way, Eric looked a lot older. He looked like a grown man. He looked like somebody's father, like a young father, But and then to see the scene where, the younger Naomi was, all glitz and glam over this grown looking man, I was like, they should have picked up somebody a little bit older looking as far as the girls wise. Because
hmm
even when they came up on stage, saying nasty bitches, these girls look like they were 13, calling themselves nasty bitches. I mean, outside looking in, that's kind of inappropriate.
yes, absolutely,
So
absolutely.
I kind of felt uncomfortable with that stage scene either way.
Listen, I'm here with you because I wasn't expecting them to use that name, but I was at the same time, because he had said it in the beginning before that. It
Yeah.
was just like, yeah, okay, so I see this is where the names come about. But
Yeah. I was
yeah, I would agree. Totally inappropriate, not a fan,
not a
So we
fan.
see how the girls, come to be, how the nasty bitches have, formed this group. And now we fast forward to Brianna being in the hospital, right? And everybody is so engulfed in everything, they forget about the kids. I'm not gonna lie, I really, really like Valeria in this episode because
Yes.
looking at her getting to that nurturing semi
Yeah.
role was very like was this refreshing. And so she goes to get the kids and she's like back up off of them. She gives them these words of encouragement. And Brianna's mom, is apparently RoboCop 2.0 because her attitude is very much like,
Ooh.
I'll take it from here.
Yeah.
And the kids don't need to see their mom like that. And she's going to be just fine. What are we thinking about, with two-part question? How do we feel about Brianna's mom? Like, kind of not even considering her daughter's wishes. And secondly, how do we feel? And this is for those of you that, who are chiming in with us as well. What do we think about the possibility of Valeria getting these kids because they seem to really have taken to her? So how are you feeling on that, Jazz?
Now, I know we all saw the mom. I wasn't favoring the mom either. Like, I mean, it kind of brought me to a place like, what would you do if your child came to a choice where either you live, guaranteed live, but you'll be
Mm-hmm.
paralyzed from the neck
Right.
down, or it's a gamble option where you go through the surgery and there's a chance that you can get your movement back, but you
Mobile
might
back. Mm-hmm.
die. So, I mean, I was kind of with the girls. I was like, man, if I had kids, I would try to give them that chance, that fight, because it was just a moment where, like, let's say your daughter is alive and you chose option one, and then she would have to live her life knowing that you didn't even try to see if I could get. Every day, I would hate my mom. I would hate her. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry. I'd be like, Mom, I know you wanted me alive, but now I'm basically dead.
Right.
Like,
Right. Yeah.
I'll be living like this. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's just like it's no win-win. You're just gonna have to gamble. But
Yeah.
I mean, with the mom, I'm glad she turned around with that decision. And it came
Mm-hmm.
out in the girls' favor, like her family, because the girls are more closer to her than mom. Sometimes,
Right.
sometimes your
Right.
friends are gonna know more about you than what you're gonna tell your mom. Okay,
These
yeah.
are facts. These are
And
facts.
then Valeria, I love how Valeria's keeping it real because I'm a realist. I'm like, I love how she's not sugarcoating anything. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
the kids are like, do you think, mom is going to live? She's like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
straight
Right. Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
No
No, I
over promises.
definitely, right. But she was also extremely compassionate. And I think this
Yeah.
is a prime example of what we talk about when we mean what you say does not have to be nasty and it could still be the truth. She was
Yeah.
very honest. She said, I don't know. But you say it in a way that they can understand it, that they can still process it and digest it.
Mhm.
And although she's talking to children, I will go out to say that I think people really should take this approach with just talking to people with compassion and kindness despite whatever truth it is that you're giving them. You know what I mean? And I thought that was very interesting. I really loved how she just took them under her wing. Now, of course, in comes Detective, who we knew from last episode. We were like, listen, all these hoes got possibilities on who done shot somebody for
Yeah.
why, right?
Yeah.
Everybody except Naomi and Lil Mama, because Lil Lil Muffin, even though Lil Muffin is the reason why Eric owes the 750K, it
Yeah.
was still Eric's choice to decide, like, hey, I'm gonna take this loan out from Jadakiss. So how do we feel about everybody's storyline? We see them come in. Uh, Jill talks about Tina, right? Valeria talks about her mom, her fake mom, con mom, and
Right.
then Lil Muffin spills the beans on Jadakiss. Now, of course, when all is said and done, Eric is like, well, why did you tell? This snitches get stitches. How do like is that still a thing in 2022? When something so detrimental like this is on the line, does that still apply?
I mean, I was with, but I don't know who said it, but like it's life or death at this point. It would be super unsettling knowing that the killer didn't finish the job. So if
Hmm.
anything, let the cops take initiative to crack the case. I
Right.
mean, in the rapper's world, I get how Eric was like, there's codes because
Yeah.
either way, you're still in that, like, okay, you do snitch, somebody's gonna be after you. You don't
Right.
snitch, somebody's gonna be after you. So
Right.
in that realm of rappery, like,
Rappery.
rappery,
Okay.
that's like a whole nother ball game.
It
But I
is.
mean, as a woman and being as, sensitive to and protective over our men, of course we're like, call the police. Let me call them for
Hmm.
you.
Right.
Jada Kiss did
Yeah.
it.
Right. 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 I think that it was interesting that she didn't even think twice. Once she saw Brianna in the bed and she saw everything that went down, she's like, this is real life. Like, Brianna could die. She could be paralyzed. She could, you know what I mean? All these different options. And you stand up here worried about your pride and your ego and your name in
Yeah.
the streets and not snitching. So of course she does mention Jada Kiss, and lo and behold, Jada Kiss ass show up in his Nike boots. Okay, you
Oh,
see, as soon as I seen the Nike boots, I said, "Here comes Jadakiss ass," because we
right.
already know. So he comes
Yeah.
in and he says, "Man, you got the feds knocking at my door. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Me and you gonna have it out afterwards." Were you shocked that he made an appearance? That he decided to like actually come
When
through?
I saw him come to the hospital, I had a feeling that it couldn't have been him because I mean, sometimes killers ain't gonna show up when it's hot.
Right,
Because
right.
it's like, hold up, what he about to do? Is he about to finish the job? Make him shut up? Who knows? But for him to come in there and say, I didn't do it, I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So who the heck could it be then? You
I
know?
listen, we definitely got taken for a ride, but before we get to our big bang of the night, let's touch on this kiss that
Oh,
Eric and Naomi had while she says, listen, shit just got real. And I might not have even been able to come in here and see you had I not said that you was my daughter's father. So let's go ahead and make this official. She's proposing that, he puts his name on the birth certificate. Meanwhile, Eric dusty ass talking about some, is this a proposal? No, sir, it is not.
proposal.
Okay. We not doing that over here in these parts. But
But
they
that
have this
whole
moment.
right. I was like,
I
yes.
wasn't ready. Oh, you were here for it.
I was here for it because I was like, look, that guy, that side guy, I was just like, I was just like, I hope it's just to make Eric jealous. Because I was like, let them be a family. I know there's some viewers that be like, let them be a family, or was rooting for Naomi's daughtery.
I mean, everybody needs a thought every now, just a little bit of thought never hurt nobody. So I get
Right.
it.
So it's either, half sides on the daughtery or half side on the family. So for me, it was like, okay, she did her little, date stuff, but it seems like she wanted to make it a thing. And for him to be like, I'll sign whatever. He was saying all the right things. I was over here like believing it. He said, look, I'll sign the papers, whatever you need. He's over
She
here,
gonna
tied up and strapped up with like, all right, babe,
listen.
well, let me just give you a kiss.
Listen, hilarious. I wasn't expecting the kiss, and if I was expecting the kiss, I was expecting it from his side, not her side, because I felt like
Um,
she had gotten to this space where she was like, "I'm moving on," I'm living my life, and
mm,
that wasn't the case.
yeah.
So, uh, it's
It
interesting.
was shocking with the kiss part, but I was feeling it. I see why she was just hit caught up in the moment. It was just like, yes, you were saying all the right things. I didn't have to fight with you. You know how hard it is to tell a man that you want him on the birth certificate? Most men don't even want to be on nobody's birth certificate. So he was saying all the right things.
Listen, he was saying all the right things. He apparently was ready for all the smoke, I guess, indirectly speaking. But I'm just excited to see what this holds for them in the future. So we're gonna keep on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
And something else before we go into our final point, I loved how the lady stood up to Brianna's mom. How they went in and they said, "Hey, like we know that you're her mother,
Yes.
but we are with her a lot of the time.
Yeah.
We know that she would want to at least try,
Yeah.
and if it doesn't work out, it's an unfortunate, a very, very unfortunate risk to take. But to have the option, like you said earlier, to not have taken it and to come out with that and just be able to only move your neck, like one cannot even imagine when you're talking about having kids and want to be able to hold them and touch them.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's kind of crazy. So I'm super glad that they decided to stand up for her, and that she initially went into the surgery. And as we see the the episode, this scene is like back and forth. It's
Mhm.
Brianna's surgery and
Jill
Jill,
getting,
right?
yes, fighting Darren.
Praying and fighting Darren. And I, for one, shocked out of my mind. Absolutely did not think about this man. He crazy. Oh, he was really in love with her.
Yes, that was a shocker because I mean, like, I would assume if you know that you left or your wife left you for the opposite gender, I would be like, there's no more competing with it. Like, like it's really dead, dead. Like,
Mm-hmm.
she literally, if your ex told you, I am no longer in love with you, why would you think that there was gonna be a chance? Like, he was really psychotic. Or the situation made him psychotic. Because there was a level of
Yeah.
normalcy prior to the events. But then
Mm-hmm.
with all the tabloids and it seems like he lost it.
Yeah.
I mean, you
I
got
will.
two people shot.
Yeah, I will agree with that. One, I just didn't. I'm trying to think about what was his thought process. And you guys feel free to let us know in the comments. What was his thought process? Was it so much so that he was in love with Jill, or was it that he wanted the old Jill back, and basically kind of like, I want you enough to go to these extreme lengths to take out your manager, so that way you wouldn't be able to perform, and or was he gunning for all of them except for her, right? Like, because he said that's why the bullet didn't touch you, so I think it's a possibility that he was kind of going for everybody, except Jill, which would have been even crazier.
I think
But
did he
man,
say that it was supposed to hit her head? Maybe that's why the bullet didn't hit
no,
her head. Or
he said that's why the bullet didn't hit you. That's,
no?
he was
Yeah,
saying that, yeah. So
yeah.
and then to blame it on God's plan, sir, we're not quite sure what God's plan you've been listening to, but I'm pretty sure that ain't it.
Yeah.
So very, very interesting. Very nice, very well done on the loop, throwing us for a loop, because I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
And Darren was the last suspect on my mind. I really thought it was going to be Tina. But then once, of course, they came back and they said that she was
On a plane.
on a plane. And then the other one, Valentina, right,
They caught
is,
her up. They caught her though.
yeah, they caught her, and she was going back to Wisconsin, and then had the audacity to ask,
Oh yeah.
Valeria for a lawyer, told her that she would give her all the information she wants about her
Scammer.
mama
She is a
after
scammer. She got to
she's,
go. I'm
listen,
over her. I thought, you know
she,
what? I thought they were probably going to do like a plot twist where it like because they kind of already resemble each other, and she kept like saying, "Oh, looking to the side, like that's your mother really loves you." I thought maybe that she would have said that I'm your mom,
sis,
like eventually, like
I think that
biologically. She kept
I think
denying it.
she's the sister.
Okay,
Because she
I'm like,
keeps saying, like, we were with her, we were friends, I
yeah.
know her for a long time. I think those are just hinting at maybe she might be his sister, but we can only speculate right now. This is going to
Yeah.
be very interesting. There are a lot of lines to unfold for the next couple,
Mhm.
for the next season or the next couple of episodes. I believe this is just a break for the winter season, per usual. But yeah, this ties into, of course, the whole, Eve being on maternity leave, and the possibility of Rodiga joining the crew. And in what capacity, we shall see. We do not know yet. But guys, let us know your
Yeah.
thoughts. How do
You
you
guys
feel
like
about
this
this
show?
season? Yeah,
Right?
do you guys want another season? How do you feel about Darren being the shooter? Is Eric stupid for owing Jada Kiss the money, taking the money from Jada? And how is he going to repay Jada? Does Jada still want 10% of all earnings? Because that's a lot of money,
That's all.
So it's a lot of unanswered questions. What's next for Naomi and Eric? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So and do the kids go with Valeria, or do they go with their grandma?
Sheesh. Yeah, of course,
So
grandma's
it's,
gonna take him.
yeah, I feel like grandma's gonna take them too, because I don't know if Valeria has the capacity for all that, but I think she would be still very vocal and very much, a force in their life. So, we will see you guys soon, and thank you for tuning in with us. Search all Big Go Bell Media videos as we do
Yes.
plenty of reviews, not just this one. And until next time, we'll see you later.
Bye. Thanks for watching us.
Thanks, guys. Peace.